Think about the last time you were really stressed. Your brain was too full, your body tight, and you were just done. What did you do? Maybe you took a bath. Maybe you opened a book you've been dying to read. Maybe you scrolled or reached for a snack. And it helped. It should. There's real value in giving yourself a break. Here's the question I started asking myself. Did anything actually change, or did it just feel a little better for a little while? Because Suzette taught me something that flipped how I see all of it. There's a layer underneath the relief, something your nervous system is actually asking for, and almost no one teaches it. That's what today is about. Welcome to Unafraid Living. I'm Kim. I'm the one asking the questions, but I'm also making sure that we're getting the real answers.
And I'm Coach Suzette, brain health professional, life coach, and your biggest cheerleader for the life you actually want. Together, we're going to quiet the fear and turn up the courage.
Do you know your fear pattern?
Most people don't, but when you do, you start to understand why you overthink, why certain conversations feel impossible, and why you shut down when things get hard.
Well, we have a free 3-minute quiz that tells you exactly which pattern is running your life. And then we send you personalized tools based on your results.
It's the starting point for everything we talk about here.
Take it at unafraidliving.com/quiz. And the link is also in the show notes. Welcome to Unafraid Living, episode 22. Today I have Suzette here with me as always, and we are talking relief. But that's only half the story.
That's right. Now, I love a good bath. Oh, disappearing into a good book. And I'm not here to take any of that away from you. It's good. We all need some relief. But there is one thing that we don't talk about much, and it's the distinction between relief and regulation. So relief is great. It just doesn't last a long time. Whereas learning to be self-regulated, it lasts forever as long as you keep doing the practices. So things like a bath, music, a walk, a treat, or all of them together. You know, it's the exhale at the end of a long, hard day. It feels good, it's real, and it matters. But regulation, that's your nervous system. And that's your nervous system that's wanting to recover. So stress doesn't run the show all the time. So that's the difference between relief and regulation. You want something that makes not just right now feel better. You want something that makes today and Monday and Tuesday easier, even when Tuesday is hard too.
So you're saying that relief is like the exhale at the end of the day. You've had a hard day and you're just de-stressing. But regulation is what makes it better to do it again the next day.
There was a time when I was doing all the things, all the self-care things, the baths, the walks, the quiet time. I still do them.
Nice.
But for a long time, I was still running on empty, even though I was doing them. But then I learned a lot more. I learned about what really changes the brain. And I learned about my emotions and how I could regulate them when I studied HeartMath. And that, I think, the emotional regulation was one of the biggest things that was transformational for me personally. So relief is really good, but regulation was the missing piece for me.
That's a good distinction because I know a lot of us probably don't realize they're two different things.
Right. Your nervous system is always asking you, right? It's always begging to know. It wants to scan everything. It looks around on your social media with your core group of friends, at your meeting place, whether it's a school or a church or wherever you are with a group of people, always looking to see, where do I fit in? How's my standing? Am I safe here? And it's not just physical safety we're talking about. It's emotional safety.
That's right. And I know, of course, you have some tools for us. You want to share?
Always. And like I said, it is the breath. It's when I learned about HeartMath that things began to change for me. And they did change, like emotionally.
Wow.
How I live life, how I feel about life, and how I interact with people. seriously changed when I got myself more regulated. But it also changed me physically.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I am in a good, healthy practice of using the quick coherence technique, which is heart-focused breathing, with coherence, which is the gratitude, that causes our bodies to get into coherence. And when I did that, my blood pressure went back to normal.
How awesome.
It was crazy. Bodies, the reason I bring this up is because our bodies work in tandem. They do not operate all by themselves. Like one function, one piece of us doesn't operate without interacting with a lot of the other pieces, right? So your brain and your heart just work in tandem together all the time. And so when I learned how to do heart-focused breathing and I was in a good practice of it, that's when things really changed for me, because that regulation, that physical regulation, literally made me feel better, like physically too. And that helps. When we feel better, when we're in pain, it's much more difficult. You can do it, but it's much more difficult to have good emotional regulation.
And I guess that's probably the reason why you share this so much in our podcast episodes. Like, I mean, it changed your life.
Yes, it did change my life. So there's ways that you can move into things like this, especially if you're doing them as a practice. So it might be a little harder. We do tell people that you can do heart-focused breathing in the spot. In the middle of a conversation, you can practice heart-focused breathing. However, it's not as easy to do if you're not in the practice of it. And so getting into the practice of it is really, really helpful. You can just sit down and start doing heart-focused breathing. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are some things that you can also do to help you move into it. And movement is something that we know helps to regulate us. So if we're feeling really amped up, maybe angry, maybe amped up because we're so excited about something, but we're kind of dysregulated, maybe you need to go on a good run because that matches that type of feeling. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. But does it have to be a run?
Oh, no, I'm not a runner. But also what's interesting is I don't really go there much. I mean, I'm not saying I never do, but that's not my typical. So I might feel disappointed or sad. And so what kind of movement do you think might match that for you?
For sad?
Sure. Sad. Take sad.
Well, usually that's a lay down and try to get comfortable.
Okay.
Or listen to some music that is my sad playlist.
Okay.
Which is not movement, but...
No, it's not movement. So I'm talking about physical movement.
Okay.
And think about when you've got a crying baby. What do?
You rock them.
You rock them. It's a nice, gentle sway, right? Well, we can do the same things for ourselves, and it helps us to get regulated. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's built in since a baby.
So let's go back to like the amped up emotions, because maybe you're not a runner. I'm not a runner, right? But maybe you're a dancer.
Right.
So you could like do a vigorous dance, I don't know. What was that? Jazzercise kind of stuff. I don't know. And then move into the breathing. So regulating yourself can take on lots of different forms and fashions. I think that using multiple ones together is really great.
Okay.
So co-regulation, your nervous system was built to settle in connection. So getting close to someone who is calm. Like, you know how when you get some bad, sad news and you're holding it all together, and then maybe it's your dad or your mom or your boyfriend or whatever comes and gives you a big hug, and whoever you love and trust, and all of a sudden you're a bundle of tears and mess, just a mess. And but it's calming. You release and they hold you and they probably sway and rock you a little, right?
Maybe.
And you begin to feel their calm, because we talked about this earlier. I'm not sure if it was in this episode, maybe the last episode.
I think it was the last episode.
Where we talked about how our energy fields affect other people. So they are feeling our mood. And so when we're at that bundle of tears, we're sad, and someone holds us and sways and rocks us a little bit, we begin to feel their energy and it calms us.
Nice. Okay, so the 3 tools. Number 1, breath, breathing. Number 2, movement. And number 3, co-regulation.
Yes. So we were meant for community. Isolation makes stress heavier. So we think we want to be alone. When we have heavy emotions or really big emotions, we think nobody can handle us. We want to be alone, but it is not good for us. Being in the presence of others is much, much better.
I can see that.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but sometimes when people need to have a hard conversation with someone, they will do it in a public place. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But one of the things that it does is when we're with other people, it helps to regulate us. So it's not just protecting the other person, it helps them receive news in a better way because they're having to self-regulate because they don't want to explode in a Starbucks,
Right.
There's a lot of things going on there about this connection, about being in community that matter for our own self-regulation. And they're good.
So what you're saying is we are not hacking your brain, but we're training it.
That's exactly right. So under chronic stress, our brain's alarm system, it can just blare, it can be constantly going off. And then a relaxing evening gives it a break. So we're giving the amygdala a break. Regulation teaches it that the break can last. So when we continue to do these things, when we continue to take time to have a relaxing evening, to get regulated, maybe we're cuddling on the couch. So we're doing some co-regulation and a little bit of breath work all at the same time, we can overcome that overstimulation. So the self-care becomes more than just relief. It's regulation. So relief and regulation can work hand in hand. So drawing the bath, you could do the nice, warm. I love a bath. Did I already say this? I love a bath with some good old salts in them, some Epsom salts or some nice lavender salts or feels so good. But if I combine it with something that will calm my amygdala down, then I've got both. I've got relief and regulation going on at the same time. And your thinking brain, your planning brain goes quiet under stress. So it all of a sudden feels foggy and weak, like it can't think. And a good weekend of relaxation and doing some of these things that help to regulate you will help you stay online, your prefrontal cortex working well, not in the fog, and working for you instead of kind of against you.
Okay. I've heard many people say, take a bath, you'll feel better. Yeah. And it does help, right? You just said that. It does help. So what am I missing here?
Well, Mom wasn't wrong. I don't remember her ever telling me to take a bath, but I do remember when my brothers would get hot, mad, a shower. Go take a shower. And
same kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Calms you down. That water running over your body can calm you down. So it's powerful, but it's what you do with your mind while you're in there. Yes. Because if you let it just stay in the place of anger or whatever, wherever it was, mad, maybe it's deep sadness, then you're not letting the bath have the effect that it could have if you allowed your brain to actually go into regulation mode.
Why do I then default to scrolling or shopping when I'm stressed, even when I know that I could go take a walk and it would probably make me feel better?
Well, because it's your default mode mostly. Our brain does what it's trained to do. And so if that's what it's trained to do, it wants to go back to what it's done before. But it also knows that especially when we're talking about social media, you get a quick hit of dopamine. And it's not necessarily the actual act of checking, because once you go into your social media, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
Right.
But you get that dopamine as you're contemplating. And so you're going that way, feeling a little better because you're getting a little dopamine as you move. Go pick up your phone and start doing that. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people do all the self-care things and still feel, I would say, depleted.
It's a good word.
Then they wonder what's wrong with them.
Well, there's nothing wrong with them. They're doing what they're built to do, right?
Right.
They're built to give you a little relief in the moment. It's your job then to add the regulation layer. It's like watering the leaves of a plant. The leaves can look great, but the watering has to happen from the roots. So for it to really grow and thrive, you got to water it deeply.
That's deep, Suzette. That is deep. All right. What is this week's practice?
For self-care, how about you just keep doing what you already love?
Okay.
Sounds different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to change it. All I'm going to say is let's add to it. Let's add that self-regulation piece to it. So when you get in the bath or when you go for a walk or before you begin that novel that you can get lost in, just do some deep breathing. Maybe you start with movement, or maybe you do it while. Yeah, I mean, the walk is clearly movement, right?
Right.
Maybe you do a little dance in the shower.
Carefully.
Yeah, very carefully. So you let yourself feel something good while you breathe, okay? Instead of staying in the place of this depleting emotion, whatever it is, it can be everything from sadness or desperation to anger. It could be anything that's a negative emotion. If you can switch it and you can move into gratitude, anything that makes you feel a little lighter, a little happier. So thinking about things that you like, that's very, very helpful, and it rewires your brain. So anytime that you're feeling something you don't want to feel, think about things you like.
Okay.
Yeah. And that can go for even people. So if I am struggling because my husband really upset me and my mind goes to all the years before that he's done the same thing, because I'm human, right?
Right.
But if I can switch that off for a moment and go to the place of my husband loves adventure. One of the reasons I was attracted to him was because we were always doing something fun. And right now he's planning this great Christmas cruise I can't wait to go on. And if I can start focusing on the positive, the negative diminishes.
Right.
Right? So the practice for the week is keep doing what you're doing for self-care and add to it a little movement, a little breathing, and a little gratitude.
Relief is real, regulation goes deeper, and you get to have both. If something landed for you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. That's how we grow this community.
And when you're ready to take the next step, the Unafraid course is waiting for you at unafraidcourse.com. I'd love to coach you through it.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And don't forget to check the show notes. And remember, your brain is listening.
So fear less, keep calm, live more, and listen on.